everyone. So yesterday I made a fish dish, a very simple fish dish that I typically do. It's like fish and vegetables baked with I think a variety of seasons. I mix it up. Same for vegetables, like depending on what vegetables I have in the fridge, I'll use them. Very easy to make, very quick. I normally chop up the vegetables, or I'll always chop up the vegetables unless I have like the small sweet peppers. So I typically use sweet peppers, onions, olives here and there. If I have them, I'll use them. Nonetheless, I feel like sweet peppers, onions. What else did I use yesterday? Garlic, like minced garlic. Serrano peppers, which are a little bit spicier than jalapenos. And you can, once again, you can replace those vegetables with vegetables that you like. And on top of the vegetables, I put the vegetables first, and on the bottom I put olive oil. I season it a bit. I put like paprika, black pepper, salt, and then I yesterday what I did differently was I seasoned the fish separately. Typically I will season everything on the baking pan, but this time around I seasoned it separately, and I feel like it made a huge difference because I was able to like let the seasonings like coat the fish very well, instead of just like putting olive oil and then sprinkling on the seasonings and then brushing it. Just like, you know, I did that separately, seasoned it, and I just feel like it seasoned it very well. It was super flavorful, and it's really simple. So I'll upload it, despite the fact that I didn't have the end product. I'm gonna try to replicate it once again today, so hopefully I'll put that up. And let's see, any reflections for this week, because I normally talk about what's like in my heart, and I wanted to talk about this, but I feel like it gets me a little like it gets me quite emotional in terms of talking about the realities of this world. Even like with the topics I talk about, I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm like I don't know if I can do YouTube, because it's just like I feel like I was a bit of a baby crying and it's not bad to cry, so there's that. But it's just like I feel like when I started YouTube, I was very emotional. I'm like, I find myself being in that place again. And perhaps it's because of the fact that I'm just like, you know, oof, I feel like, in order to sometimes like have that kindness and compassion, and I've noticed that more or less, I have to be able to reflect and sit in my own, my own ideas, beliefs, and understanding of the world. And I feel like you have to put your guard down in order to like be able to relate with all of the world, right? Or to relate to humanity and to showcase compassion. So sometimes you have to let those barriers down, and let, sometimes also part of that is like probably frustration, anger, any bitterness, anything that's got you in negative emotions, right? And I feel like when I do so, I find myself in a very I would say like sensitive state. But yeah, so this weekend we had the opportunity to go back and be in New York City, and it's I feel like it's difficult to sometimes like be in the city, because I find that in the city you see everything for what it is. It's like right there in your face, opposed to being here, living in the suburbs, living in rural areas. I feel like a lot of things are more or less hidden, right? You don't see things, you just see the pretty aspects of it, or the pretty, like, it depends on how it's depicted, how it's showcased, right, to the world, like how these locations look. Naturally, I'm speaking just in behalf of this specific location, but many suburban areas are depicted as the white picket fence, right? We have this idea of like picture perfect, but behind it there's probably a lot of ugliness, right? So in New York City, or a lot of urban areas, you see everything for what it is. You see the disparities that exist. You see the differences in life, social economic status. And I do find that it is very troubling, because you get the chance to be like, wow, like these individuals they live well, but then these other individuals are struggling, and it's almost like these people don't meet, or they don't, there's no point of meeting, or it seems like there's a disconnect perhaps, and that's even that brings me a lot more sadness, because it's like you're right there, you're at the heart of it all, and you as a person, as a human, do not care to even take a moment to realize that, wow, there's so much need right around you, right in your face. And that's saddening to see about humanity. So oh man, and I don't want to constantly be crying, but because I feel like it's also for us to realize as humans that we can take initiative. We don't necessarily have to be complacent, or we don't have to allow for those things to exist. We can take action. So, man, I have a dog, and I've spoken about how much I love animals, and I feel like part of my love for social justice, part of my love for the topics I speak about, and my passion for the topics I speak about are directly connected also to my love for not only animals, for Mother Nature, for everything that exists right around. I feel like everything is interconnected, and everything, when we think about it, actually, even when I sat on this, I was just like, people don't realize how everything is connected when it concerns, for example, the many things that we see in this life, in this world. When we see evil happen, when we see evil occur, I take a moment to also consider, what is their life story, what is behind everything that we're seeing, right? And sometimes people don't really take a moment to be like, okay, there could have been numerous factors that could have been contributed to what exists and what it is. And we often just say, why is X, Y, and Z, or why is this, why is that, but there's a bigger story to it all, right? So that's what I think about when I see need, when I see individuals, like, for example, and this is something like I saw two dogs, like one was with like his owner. I think he lives in like, they live in I'm not sure if they don't have, like, I don't want to assume he doesn't have a home, but it didn't seem like it seemed like he lived in his like vehicle. And yeah, so for me, thinking about not even animals alone, when I think about everything that exists, especially those that are most vulnerable, that need our protection, that need our comfort, that need our love, it's hard for me to consider and know that I don't want to. I guess that's why I don't want to. I was like, I don't know if I want to hop on here. I don't know if I want to get emotional, but like, I feel like, you wish you could change the circumstances and situation of those very, like, whether that be animals, whether that be children. And I guess like my ultimate message, or just to end this video, is like, I feel like part of my YouTube channel has been to bring knowledge and understanding on like the issues that exist, but also to realize that there is many issues that exist. How can we like tackle them? Like, how can we come as community, especially for those of us that come from collective cultures? Honestly, I've been big on elevating and leveraging our communities of color, the Black and brown community, and knowing that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to create change. It takes a village to make a difference. It takes a village to make an impact. So I want to leave it at that. Like, when we see need, when we see things that are just saddening, like, you wish you could change those circumstances, not only of like the child, the animals, the human. Like, we often forget also, like, I've noticed this as well a lot of times with like the Free Palestine. They're like, oh, the children. It's like, who's also taking care of the children? Like their parents are. Their parents need to be in safety. Their parents need to be living in a good, and be in a good place and state in order to provide their children the best care. So we often dismiss that it's not only children, animals, X, Y, and Z, those that are most vulnerable. It's also that humans as a whole, be whatever age, need to be in that position and place to then be able to provide the best. So let's start there. All of these things affect one another, right? It's kind of like domino effect. It's like a tier. It just, it trickles down. So let's, like, when we see something and something moves us and something impacts us, it's a sign that you are meant to do something to make a difference. So I wanted to share that, and I don't want to leave with you guys emotional, but I wanted to put that out there. And be well, and I will try to upload them. I feel like I've been a bit delayed in terms of like uploading the food content. I also want to implement some, like exercise movement, which is also important for us as humans, not to only take care of our mental, emotional well-being, but also to, implement things that are benefiting, right? It almost reminds me of that. I used to read when I was younger, the book Chicken Soup for the Soul. So it almost reminds me of that. So take care, everyone. Bye.